get interrupted by self-service stuff. Anyway, so back to the question was, are you anxious to get married? Not.
I already answered.
Yeah.
It's your turn now.
Again, it's not getting married per se is what I'm anxious about. I'm worried about just the next phases. Marriage is honestly marriage is the beginning of it. Just signing a certificate, vows, that part's easy. I'm more anxious for what comes after that.
Which is what?
What do you mean? Which is what comes after marriage is you have to really put up with each other.
Now we've been doing that for the
We
last
have
8
been,
years.
but it's different when it's different. It's a different mentality.
Yeah.
At least in my head it is.
It's a different mentality. Yeah.
So that's what I'm anxious about. We don't know what the future holds, and
Obviously. I don't think
life's like a never-ending roller coaster.
it is. And it's just how
In the dark.
Yeah, marriage is really a huge shot in the dark. You stay with somebody for a while, and then you want to be with that person for the rest of your life. But that's just the thing. It's a huge shot in the dark. It's a huge commitment. I haven't been the biggest commitment person back in high school. Just acknowledging that I wasn't. Acknowledging that I've done some stupid stuff in the past, and I think we all have, but mainly me, and doing all that. But when I realized that I wanted to be with her, it wasn't even a second guess. It was just like, okay, how do I make this relationship work? How do we get past the fights that we constantly have and all of that? And how do we get past going from being in a relationship to really seeing each other every single day for the rest of our lives. And we're only 22. Yeah, 22. I'll be 23 near the end of this year.
But again, we're still in our early 20s.
Yeah, we're still in our early 20s. I have a friend, he was 24 when he got married. And, I mean, that's still, in my mind, that's old for me because he's older than the both of us. But, at the same time, it's just like, him and his girl have been together since, I think, high school. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's how long they've been together, and they've been together for a while, and it's just, something that they worked on, and, now they're married. So, it's been a struggle for the both of us because of COVID.
Yeah, thanks for that.
I really hate that virus, honestly. With a passion, I hate COVID.
Don't we all?
But, it's just gonna be... It's just, one step at a time right now. We haven't even... I mean, we've acknowledged that we're engaged. And our parents know. And, they weren't really, thrilled because of how young we are. And all of that. But, it's been... since, the 3rd day of January that they found out. And they really haven't said anything about it ever again.
I mean, I've also told my parents to, zip it or bye.
Yeah, I haven't told my parents that. My dad knows that I want to be with her. And every single time he has a conversation with me or with us, he's just like, if you guys want to think about staying together, and it's just like, there is no think. It's 100% gonna happen, us having a future, because, at this point in my life, I really don't want to restart with anybody else. And I think that's why when girls like me, it's just that's nice. Thanks for letting me know that you like me. But, X, Y, and Z, I can't start a relationship with you. Even when we weren't engaged, when we were in a relationship, I've had two girls say, "Hey, I like you, and I would like to see where this goes in relationship," and it's just
I
like,
did that with one other person already.
who? Oh, and I didn't, and I just didn't. We clicked for like the first little while, but then after a while, it really was really hard to be like, "Oh, I see you as a long-term thing." And while with her, I see a long-term thing until, one of us dies, which is still, that's the real iffy part, because you never know when your life's gonna just go. You never know when you're gonna go. You want to go when you're like 80, 90, but, sometimes God has different plans, and, sometimes he'll just come in and be like, "Hey, you might be 23, 24, but it's time for you to come home." And, unfortunately, that's happened to many people. And, whether it's car crashes and stuff. So we just take one day at a time. We're very thankful to be with each other. We're very thankful to still be with each other. And we're thankful with the people that we have in our core group or in our core circle that have really been like, the driving force behind us. So, yeah. Alright, what's the next question? Because I've been talking my butt off for the last 3 minutes. Sorry. This is probably not going to be the best Q&A. So.
Alright. Alright,
No answer.
why do you like Gershon so much, and what makes him the best choice for you?
First of all, that's not what the question says. The question says,
why do you love him?
Yeah, why do
Okay.
you love him, not why do you like
So-
him? So let's get that situated real quick, because I'm looking at the questions
I've
with
been a
her.
little reluctant to answer that, just because I know I'm going to get so much backlash from certain people. And,
Why are you
I know
reluctant to answer that?
haters are going to hate, but it's just annoying.
Why are you going to be reluctant to answer that?
I'm still going to answer it.
Okay, well, answer it.
I don't really have like a solid answer. It's like a whole bunch of reasons, really. I mean, it's not every day that you fall in love with your best friend. Honestly, I had like when I was younger, I didn't think that I'd fall in love with my best friend. I don't know. It's kind of like one of those like movie things. You're like, oh yeah, like love at first sight type thing. Or like, oh yeah, you've been friends forever. You're gonna get married, blah blah. But I don't know. Yeah. What was the second part of that question?
You're really reclusive in that answer, and I don't like that. But we're going to continue.
What makes him the best choice for you? I don't know. He makes me happy, even though he's a complete butt sometimes. But we're kind of like the hot and cold relationship. Where like, yes, we like, it's like fuel to a fire, kind of like. We will piss each other off to like the tipping point, but we can also
Cool
like,
each other
cool
down.
each other down, and we don't want that to end.
No, I don't think anybody wants that to end.
Well, I'm sure plenty of people want that to end, but haters gonna hate. So,
Yeah, fortunately. All the questions you have on that thing? Do you have any more? Okay, she's pulling up more questions, so give us a
I'm
second.
looking to see if I have more questions.
We're not that prepared.
What's your favorite? Okay, so my friend Camille, shout out to Camille, thanks fam. What's your favorite part of your least favorite activity? Okay, so I don't know if you guys know this, but my least favorite activity is being lazy. Like, I'm really good at being lazy, but I really don't enjoy doing nothing. It's boring. I'm a very active person. That's why I'm so glad that I'm employed now. I don't like sitting still and doing nothing. So but my least favorite part of my favorite activity is all out karate. So when we sit there and we're doing warm-ups and then we're done doing warm-ups, I have to take a break. I don't like standing there doing nothing. It's boring. Okay, your turn.
What's my least favorite thing
Least
to
favorite part of your favorite activity. It's okay if you don't have an answer.
do? I'm like trying to like process this, so give me like a second. Let me cut that part out. I think my least favorite part of playing basketball, because that's my favorite thing to do, is play basketball. I'm actually wearing a basketball jersey right now, but shout out to Penn State. But no, my least favorite thing about basketball is when like we're playing games and you know there's a foul and someone's like, "What? I didn't do that," or like, "What? That never happened," or "It went off your foot," or you know, "What are you trying to like say," or something like that. You know, I hate it when people argue, because then it makes, because you know, time goes by and it's just like, we get it, I get it, she doesn't really get it, but I get it, that people don't want to like lose possession or any of that, or think that they're being cheated out of like a point, or being cheated on a foul. But that irks me a lot, and this hair is pissing me off. And you know, it's just one of those things where it's just like, I get it, I do the same thing sometimes, but whenever I call a foul, I know when I get hit, or I know when, you know, something is going on, and it's just like, no, you hit me, I felt it, let's just keep playing, I called the foul. And I very rarely do I call fouls, because that's just me, because I'm a big dude and I can sometimes take better hits than most people. But you know, there's people out there who play basketball, and every single time they go up for a shot, it's a foul, or you know, something like that, and that gets really annoying after a while, and that irks me, and that's my least favorite thing about basketball. So
Yeah. So that's all the questions I have.
that's all the questions she has. Wow, that's not a lot of questions.
Sure I have.
It's really not. No. So I guess it's my turn. Is it? It's my turn. Yay! Yay!
Okay.
So I think one of my questions that I can think off the top of my head is just like, what made you, or what made us choose each other? I feel like this has already been answered,
So
like
you've been answered, I'm
partially.
not answering it.
Like partially, like I partially answered my side, but like, what made you choose me?
I don't really have an answer for that.
Oh, that sucks. No, don't it? Well, that's our video today, and I will see you later. No, just kidding. That actually kind of hurts.
just happened.
Just a little. Yeah, it kind of just happened. Yeah, I think some of our relationship kind of just happened. I think at the beginning it kind of just happened, and then you know, it just grew into something that we didn't think that was. I mean, like, I kind of thought it was there, but at the same time, it's just like, I don't really see myself with you for a very, very long time. That was my initial
Here we
thought.
are 8 years later.
That was my initial thought in like 9th grade. And now here we are 8 years later. And it's like comical, sort of, to think that, you know, the person that I want to be with is now the person that I'm with. And it feels great.
In case you didn't know that, that's me. Okay.
I would hope so.
Yeah, me too.
I would hope so. I think another huge question that I have, that when was our first kiss?
Honey, you're asking
Oh,
a question with crap memory.
who kissed who first?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Really? You don't remember?
I don't know.
Really?
I don't know.
Really?
Just tell me.
No, you're supposed to find out.
I don't know.
You're supposed to know.
Well, I don't.
Well, this has been a great 8 years. This is where it ends, and then, you know. I think I kissed you first.
See, you answered your own question.
Anywho,
Next.
I think the next question I have is, who said I love you first? I think it was you. I think it was you. I think it was you. Do you remember where you said I love you? Because I have a small.
I want to say it was the end of 8th grade. Like, towards the last day of 8th grade.
I was gonna say 9th grade, but okay. That's pretty fast because we knew each other in February of 8th grade.
But if it wasn't then it was probably like week 1 of 9th grade. So, one of the two.
It's pretty fast. What was that,
Yeah,
like 6
well,
months?
I get attached easily.
What was
Sorry.
that, 6 months?
Yeah.
6 months. She said it to me, I guess, in 6 months. I remember feeling very uncomfortable about it because, you know.
Well, see ya.
No, in a good way, because, you know, it was only 6 months, and I thought that was kind of quick.
Could have been 6 seconds.
Could have been 6 seconds. It could have been 6 seconds. But, you know, I feel like I kind of felt kind of weird. And then it gave me unwanted pressure because now that she said it, it's just like, okay, am I going to say it back to her? And it was like one of those things where it's just like, okay, she said it. What do I do now? And, you know, we kind of talked about it for a little bit. And I found out that she was sincere. And then I think a couple months, I think either 3 or 4 months later, I think I opened up and said I loved her too. And I loved her. And,
Aww. Okay, sorry. Someone had said it.
and you know, it was just one of those things where we really got attached to each other really fast, and we worked out perfectly. And now here we are 8 years later, and we're still, you know, just doing a lot more additions and subtractions in our lives. And, you know, now we're doing this. My next question is just like, where's our spot? Like our favorite spot? Because I know one spot that was our favorite, but do you remember where it was? It's okay if you don't. If you don't, I'm just gonna walk.
I want to say it was a park, but I don't know.
I was thinking Giuseppe's.
No.
Because that's where we would always go after school. And then get lunch. So if you're not from like the Rockville area and you kind of like are like what, like you don't know what Giuseppe's
Not cool.
is.
I mean, what?
You don't know what Giuseppe's is. It's this little pizza place. It's not really little, but it's a pizza place.
It's kind of like a hole in the wall pizza place.
Yeah, it's a hole in the wall pizza place. I'm not gonna say it's the best pizza, but it was very inexpensive. And with a kid that was in 9th grade who only had $20,
You know,
the
high school allowance stuff before you got a job.
Yeah. The high school allowance stuff.
That's what you spent your money on. Movie tickets and pizza.
Yeah, movie tickets and pizza. And I think wasn't our first date. Because I remember where our first date was. Do you remember where our first date was?
Dave and Buster's.
Dave and Buster's, yes. In like 2020. No.
2020,
Whoa. I think it was like 2013.
I don't know.
2013, 2014 was our first date, which is very weird because, you know, we'd be like out with our friends while we were dating. And they're just like, oh, have you guys had your first date? And it's like, no, not technically. I mean, we've gone out to like food places before, but we never really like considered it a date. We just considered it hanging out.
Our first real date was we went to Dave and Buster's.
That's what. Yeah, we went to Dave and Buster's. It was also my parents' anniversary.
Yeah.
I think it was like August 24th. 24th or 23rd, and we were dating, and I was just like, hey, I asked my parents, of course, because, you know, you can't just have your girlfriend just drop by and be like, hey, I'm gonna join you guys. But no, so I asked my parents, I was like, hey, is it okay if my if my girlfriend comes and, you know, meets y'all, and then, you know, we have like this like little thing together? And my parents were like, yeah, sure, bring her on. So I remember getting the text message. I remember the booth number, and I remember where you sat. What? Was it a bug? I remember where she sat and the booth number and everything. I don't remember the time though. That would be a little weird because, you know, time is irrelevant now. But I think it was booth number 32, and you were sitting across from me. You were on my stepmom's side, and my dad was sitting next to me. And then her parents came in too, and that's how her parents and my parents got, like, we started talking and met and everything. So yeah. Did I already ask who had the first kiss?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. What is the stupidest thing we've ever fought over?
Whose drink is whose? Definitely.
I think mine was.
Definitely.
I think mine was like, that was my 25 cents.
Nope.
For me, it was 25 cents. For her, it was whose drink was whose. It's kind of hard to figure that out when you have the same person that likes the same things that you do. And it's just really, really funny because it's just like, holy cow, okay, you got a Dr. Pepper and you got a Dr. Pepper, but whose was whose? And then we ended up...
Just to be fair, we still argue about that to this day.
Yeah, we still argue about whose is whose, but...
Like, take this for example. We both got Mountain Dews. The only reason we know whose is I haven't opened mine yet. Okay, let's continue.
Also, her label is also zero sugar, so, you know... And mine has...
I don't need all that sugar, thank you.
Mine has 77.7... I'm going to be right back after I shoot myself.
77.
I have 77 grams of sugar. She has 0 sugar, so we know whose is whose.
I don't need all that extra fake sugar.
I don't know why I even got this, but, you know, I did. So, yeah.
Any other questions?
I think my next question is, who collectively do we listen to together? Like, what kind of music do we listen to together?
Together, I'd say the majority of country and rap.
Yeah, that seems about true.
And recently, it's been a lot of NF and
That's her. That's her thing.
Logic.
That's my thing.
And yeah, country, just variety.
Yeah, we listen to shit.
But separately, we listen to some completely different things. Like, separately, I'll listen to rock and roll, I'll listen to hip-hop, I'll listen to Israeli music, I'll listen to some jazz occasionally, I'll listen to, like nature sounds and stuff like that. It's, you know, sounds like relaxing. I'll listen to a whole bunch of Disney, because... I'm sorry, I don't care how old I am, I will always be a Disney fan. So, like,
I never got into Disney, so.
Oh, it's okay. But,
I had a rough childhood.
So, but it answers music.
I had a rough childhood. What was the first thing we noticed about each other?
We were both adopted.
Noticed. Mine was your eyes. Your eyes were the first thing I saw. Well, first thing I noticed about you. Because of the blue eyes. What was yours?
I don't remember.
I think you said it was my eyes.
I don't remember.
She doesn't remember. She's old.
I am old.
She's old. We're the same. We're only 2 months apart, and she's old. She has a mind of a 5th grader.
I also have the memory of like an ant. So.
I can attest to that. She does. But so do I, even though I have a bigger head and a little bit of a bigger brain. But sometimes I can't remember what we are talking about. Surprised I've been doing so well for the last minute or so.
Me too.
Oh my god, this is a 25-minute video.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
Alrighty then. Next. Let's see.
Any other questions?
I think, when did you realize we loved each other?
Oh, well.
Yes, you do. You're only saying it because you're tired.
I am
When
tired.
did you realize that you loved me?
Probably the 8th grade formal.
It's pretty fast.
Yeah.
That's really fast. I think for me it was 9th grade. It was actually our summer between 9th grade and 10th grade, and that's when I really started to fall in love with this little thing. And when I say little, I mean little, because I'm 210 pounds.
How tall are you?
And I'm like 5'10", and she's 5'4".
And a half.
And a
Thank you.
Like the whole half makes a
It
difference.
does.
But-
I love my half inch. Thank you.
But, you know, you can see the size differential on both of us. And you can see it right here. Like, I have much broader shoulders than she does.
I'm also slouching.
You're also slouching, and so am I, because the video camera.
Sit up tall for a second. See? Yeah.
Much taller.
There's a difference.
I'm not even on the screen anymore. It's just my mouth.
There's a difference.
There's a huge difference between the both of us. But we've made it work. And, you know, there'll be times where it's funny, because you would think that she would have... We've boxed each other before.
Yeah, it's a fun experience.
We've boxed each other before. And you would think that since I'm the bigger person, I'd have the heavier hit.
Oh.
That's wrong. She has the heavier hit.
Hello.
Mainly because she has smaller arms. Even though she has smaller arms, her arms are faster aerodynamically than mine are. Because she has less resistance to push through, while I have a lot more. And sometimes I just crank, you know, I just go. But no, that was a fun experience.
Yeah. I'm sure, like,
Taekwondo was not, though. She had me on the ground in like 5 seconds. That was not fun.
That wasn't Taekwondo. That was more like just grappling.
That was not fun. It's embarrassing. Honestly, I'm gonna say this right now. It is embarrassing to be put on the ground in less than a minute by someone who weighs maybe 3 to 4 times less than I do and is like 6 inches shorter than me. That is embarrassing. I'm just gonna put that out right there. That is embarrassing. And it hurts.
What happens when
My back definitely hurt.
What happens when you have proper training? And I wasn't even doing it because I was mad. We were doing this for fun.
Yeah, we were just doing this for fun in a Taekwondo studio, and then she just put me on the ground, and I was like, ow. But, you know, now I got bigger, and now she can't put me on the ground.
I can't. I don't want to.
Yeah, that's probably true. That's probably true. Next question do I have? Where do you see us in 4 years?
I don't know. I'm not good at looking down the road.
Where do you want us to be in 4 years?
Not living at home anymore.
That's probably the question I should have asked. Where do you want us to be in 4 years? Where would you want us to be in 4 years?
And even less than 4 years. I want.
Oh, in less than 4 years. So, well, I'm saying like generally.
Generally in 4 years.
In 4 years, where do you want us to be life-wise?
Life-wise, steady jobs, out of our parents' houses. Probably married. I don't know by then, but probably, yeah, most likely. But yeah, just moving on with our lives. Like kind of right now, even without COVID, like
Would be any kids in that life?
I just got a job again, And whether COVID happened or not, I haven't had a job since the summer. Since last summer.
That's not true.
I haven't had a steady job since last summer.
Oh, yeah, you haven't had a steady job, but you had it.
I have had a job, but I gave up on it because I was not comfortable.
Yeah, she wasn't
anyway,
comfortable.
But
yeah.
ever since then, it's been a while since I've had steady work.
Yeah,
And
it's been a while for me
so
too, I think.
It'll be nice to have something like a real routine again.
Yeah, and same here. I would like us to be moved out of our parents' houses. Where the only reason why we haven't moved out now
Broke.
is A, because we're broke, and B, because of this whole COVID thing. When COVID broke out here in Maryland, you know, our governor quickly shut everything down. I think within the 3 weeks of our first 3 cases of coronavirus here in Montgomery County,
Our smart governor says, no, we're not taking any
it
chances.
went from 3 people to like 1,000 people in like, I think, a week and a half, and it spread like wildfire here. And then our governor was just like, you know what? We're doing a stay-at-home emergency. Nobody was allowed to go out. Well, you were allowed to go outside, but it was required that you had a mask, you kept social distancing, and everything.
At first, it was only like you were only allowed to leave for like the essentials, like grocery
Yeah.
shopping, post office. If you had to go to like, if you had like an appointment or something.
Yeah, those were the only things that we
legit.
could do.
I remember how mad I was, like wanting to go outside. So I go for daily walks and daily whatever, but I remember being so mad. I was like, all right, I'm going for my walk. My parents were like, no, you cannot leave the house. I was so upset.
So she couldn't leave the house, but I could. My parents were just like, look, we get it. We get that. Because I'm a very active sports person. And my parents was just like, look, we get that there is a stay-at-home order, but even them, they get restless too. And my parents are like, my dad's in his early 60s and my stepmom's in her late 50s, and it's just like they go out for walks too, but they make sure they have the mask, they make sure they have 6 feet apart and everything. We didn't introduce anybody into our circle again. We had no contact. It was just us two. That was it for like a good, what would you say, 6 weeks?
More than that.
Good 6, 7, 8 weeks.
Yeah.
And then just recently with the decline here, it's starting to level off, even though the cases are starting to come up more. I think I just checked earlier today, it's risen by 3% since last week. But 5 weeks ago, that was 25% or 30%. I think the highest percentage I saw was at the beginning, and it was like, I think 60%. I think. I'm not 100% sure, but we were really clean, and then it just skyrocketed here. And we were the first highest county of COVID cases. Now we're second. Now we're the second behind PG.
I mean, it's not great.
It's not great, but you know, we're slowly opening and everything. So yeah. And I think my final and last question, because this video is going to be a pain to upload and a pain
Just ask the questions. We can
to
do
trim and do all this. All right. I think my final question is,
am I amazing? The answer is yes.
how many kids do we both want?
Oh, God.
I think that is my final question. How many kids do we want?
Do I have to answer this truthfully? Because
Yes.
it may change.
Yeah, you had to answer this truthfully, because I'm going to answer it truthfully. How many kids do you
in total?
In total and in general.
5.
Mine was 4, but I guess she added 1. She added 1, so I guess we're going to have an odd number of kids.
No, not.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I would.
Yeah, so she wants 5, I went 4.
5.
It's
5's a good solid number. Do not ruin it.
4 is a good solid
5.
number. Because then we don't have to worry about that extra asshole that comes into our life.
On that note, it was great talking to you guys. We love you. Goodbye.
No. Ah.
Goodbye. Love you.